Welcome to QueerTWENTY, the cohort of 2023. QueerTWENTY is egomonk's annual flagship program where we celebrate 20 exceptional queer Indians. We have a very interesting person with us, Ramakrishna Balaji, or Bala. With 8 years of experience in digital marketing industry, Bala is a specialist in influencer marketing. She is also a TEDx speaker, a motivational speaker, and actively promotes gender fluidity. Her advocacy has gained recognition in reputable publications such as the Logical Indian, the Queen, and the Out and Proud section of the Times of India. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Bala. Bala, thank you so much for joining us today. Bala, my first question to you is, um, so the idea that queerness can evolve, this idea exists, and what it does, like this fact exists rather, and what it does is it challenges the notion that once you pick an alphabet from LGBTQIA, your sexuality, your gender experience is set in stone, which is not true. Which I know from my own experience, and I think you will resonate with that experience, right? Given that as a context, how do you handle the internal dialogue that pops up during such evolution of your sexuality and gender?
Um, so, uh, Basically, I came out as gay, of course, in class six, and of course, that was not the right time, I realized, because I realized that, that time I didn't know the term gay, I was like, okay, I'm attracted to boys, and that was like a very different sort of an attraction, and I can't express that, of course, like, I was blushing and all that. There was a boy who used to sit next to me when I was in class six, so I used to blush, when I see him. So that was a phase, and of course, when I started my first job, then I realized, okay, I'm more inclined towards girly things. I'm sorry to use that word. More feminine, I want to wear lipstick, I want to wear neck piece. I remember, I think during Women's Day in my office, my first organization, they were distributing neck piece, neck piece and like a mirror, like a small, like a jewelry mirror, like which you keep in your jewelry box. Remember that old mirror which Raja Maharajas used to use. So they were distributing that, and I was, what are you distributing? Even I want to see that. I was very inclined, and then the HR, of course, they said, no, Bala, it's for you also. And that was a very good gesture. I mean, that was a very sweet gesture. Without me asking or anything, they planned to give that to me. And I don't know how they got to know that I'm more inclined. So that point of time, I came out as gender fluid person. I was expressing multiple genders. That's where I got to know. Okay, I'm more feminine. Though I was born as a boy, but my gender identity is of a woman. If I have to put it in one line, there is a thin line between your gender and sex, right? There's a thin line which people don't realize. The sex and gender. Sex is basically the biological sex which has been assigned to you during your birth, but gender is, of course, which
Yeah.
doesn't match, which doesn't confirm your biological sex. Like gender is from your, sex is from your. I always tell, show this to people, like, so that they can, for a better understanding. Gender identity is from here, right? What do you identify from here? So that's where I got to know, okay, I'm gender fluid. I express multiple genders. Like I'm wearing a pant shirt, like a normal shirt, but I'm wearing a neck piece, right? It's like expressing multiple genders. And again, gender is a wide spectrum, Apurva. Even sexuality or gender, there is no end to gender and sexuality. It's a wide spectrum. Whatever you feel from inside, right? That's how I think people should also realize one thing is that it's from within. From within, what you feel is what matters. I know would be defining, you would be coming to a conclusion. There'll be a lot of things which I'm sure which goes into your mind, like okay, what should I do? What's next? And that's where maybe some people end up taking counseling. So now I came out as a trans woman, right? So a lot of people asked me, okay, you are gay, and then then you are gender fluid. Now you have come out as trans. So I said, I don't owe any sort of justification to people because I saw those changes in my body, and I feel, a woman from inside. So why not, right? Again, it's your gender identity, right? And a lot of people asked me, when are you it's a myth. It's like a typical, when you come out as a trans, people ask these questions like, when are you growing your hair, and when are you going through the surgery? When are you wearing sari? So this is like a myth. I'm sorry. Why I don't know why people always expect, okay, you are a woman, you should wear sari, or you are a woman, you should grow your hair. Why can't I keep I'm very fond of short hair. I'm not fond of long hair, so I said, there is it written anywhere? Are you like planning, trying to justify me? It's written anywhere? No, right? What you feel from inside, if you feel from inside, okay, you are a trans, you need to be like this is what my appearance is. Even after 10 years, if you see Bala is going to be like this. Bala's identity is not going to change, right? So that's what matters, Apurva. At the end of the day, what you feel, that's what I was trying to say also. If you have accepted yourself as pansexual, then who's there to stop you? Who? That's what my simple question is. You don't have to justify. Most of the times, what we do is we end up justifying to people. Oh, I'm a pansexual because of this, I'm pansexual. Oh, I'm bisexual because of this, I'm bisexual. Why? My question is, why you have to justify these things? You are living your life, and people are not paying your bills. You are doing very well in your career, in your future. So you don't owe any sort of justification to anyone for that matter, except your family, except your mom and dad. Come on, of course, I always keep them as a priority. You definitely can explain it to them. Like when my parents, of course, when I told them that I'm a transgender, I feel woman from within. So they were very happy. They didn't ask me anything. I was like, okay, fine, go for it. Who's stopping you? When you came out as gay, of course, we didn't understand all this while, what was happening, but now we accept you wholeheartedly. When we accept you wholeheartedly, no matter whatever you decide, whether you plan to go for surgery, whether you don't plan to go for surgery, or whatever for that matter, we accept you. You are our daughter. You are our child, most importantly. So that's how it matters, yeah. You don't owe any sort of justification to anybody for that matter. It's your life, your decision, your principles. Always remember that.
Now, my second question is about something that you are very vocal about. So you're a staunch advocate for self-love and self-acceptance, right? We are living in the era of self-help industry. It's a billion-dollar industry right now, right? So enough discourse exists about why is it important and how to do it. I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on something else, which is not given enough attention, right? Um, we as individuals are the products of societies. So everything good and bad that we have is connected to this product of society. Now, can you tell me, like, to what extent our tendencies to self-love or self-hate are tied to socio-economic factors? So what I'm trying to say is, people with marginal identities are more prone to struggle with the idea of self-love, right?
Yes.
So when and you fall in one of those identities. So when you pursue self-love and self-acceptance, how do you draw the balance? What role society plays in this, and what
To be very honest, I understand, there are a lot of people who are still not able to accept themselves, or, they don't come out of that phase. But what I've learned over these, years of Urba is, as I said, education. We always say, right? Homophobia has a cure, that is education, right? And what I feel is there is a big generation gap over there. You know, even my family, they come from a very conservative Orthodox family. You know, the typical South Indian Iyer family. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a racist or thing over here. I'm just trying to tell you. Uh, uh, it's very tough, to accept queer people within this community, within any community for that matter. because again there is a generation gap. Like maybe after our generation things will be very much okay because we have some amazing parents, like LGBTQ friendly parents who are educating their kids, who are telling them the meaning of acceptance and respect. I mean, that's very important. And also, what is gender, what is sexuality, they themselves are educating their children. So I think our work is done, we are almost there, so we don't have to face that generation where people used to mock at us, make fun, giggle, make weird faces, which you all often see, right? When we step out, and I myself face that every single day. When I go like this, people look at me, they point fingers at me, they giggle, So, but again, there's a generation gap, because sadly, what happens is their generation hasn't. उस जमाने में ये नहीं था. This concept was not there, right? Even though people used to come out, but there was no enough support, But right now we have so many NGOs, we have so many activists, counselors out there, LGBTQ friendly counselors, who kind of counsel you. So back that time, it was not there, right? So now people are sort of, if you see the children are kind of explaining their parents, educating their parents. That's what I keep telling the kids. Like when people come and ask me, like, how should we educate? How should we, like, make our parents, accept us? I said I just told them that coming out is not a one day thing. It's a big long process. You can't suddenly go to your parents and say, like, I'm gay. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a big long process. My mom took almost 7 years to accept me, right? I mean, the first day when I came out, she almost fainted. I still remember that day, and now being a supportive mommy, a supportive dad, or for that matter, where they kind of, educate other kids, to accept themselves. I feel so proud of them, when they take a stand for me. So I think coming out is a long journey. First, you need to plan, how you want to come out. Firstly, you need to be financially settled. First, you need to make a name for yourself in terms of your career, I'm saying, right? And once you have that, at least you have some sort of justification that I'm doing well for myself, so my decision matters at the end of the day. You win that battle, that first phase of the battle. Secondly, of course, you need to start kind of educating your parents or peers, saying that show them LGBTQ friendly movies. There are so many good articles out there. You should show them. You shouldn't try to know their reaction. That's your second phase. And the final phase, you need to wait for the right time. Once okay, fine, they are on the verge, आपको लग रहा है positive, negative, okay, they will accept, they won't accept me. That's where you need to take a decision. I was like, okay, now I think I should come out. And you need to come out. There's a strategy, I'm sorry. I'm talking in a typical marketing, language. You need to strategize the whole coming out process. It's not like you just go to them and just tell them. That's not how it works. It's very rare that some parents accept, but most of the parents know it might be a shock for them, so that's how, it's a process. Some people come out in take 1 month's time, 6 months time. Some people take a year's time. Some people take almost 5 to 7 years in my case to come out, right? So it's a phase, and when you're talking about self-love and acceptance, as I said, it comes from within. Like I always give this mirror exercise to kids, whenever I go for my workshops. I just tell them, get up every day in the morning, just go in front of the mirror, appreciate yourself, appreciate your body, thank yourself, thank Almighty, of course, thank yourself that you crossed that the previous day. I'm sure we face so many obstacles in our daily lives, in terms of our profession, in terms of our career, in terms of society, right? But you have come out of it. So first you need to thank yourself, accept yourself, respect yourself in front of the mirror. Stand and just thank. That's like valuing yourself. That's a very, very important thing which you need, which often people don't do that. So thanking yourself every single day is gonna make you a stronger and a stronger person. That's how you're gonna come out as a out and proud person. That's what is gonna make you stronger each and every day. Your confidence will also go high. You think it was difficult? You think it was easy for me? No, it's a never-ending struggle for us. We go through homophobia every single day. But I tell this Bala, it's fine. You are happy, you matter. Like I always say, give this three mantra, to accept yourself and love yourself. I myself. I, as an individual, as a person, matter a lot for myself. Me, my sexuality, my identity matters than anything else. Myself, my rights, my principle, my happiness matters a lot. So you need to remember the meaning of these three words, and you need to practice this also. It's not like you keep, I'm just telling this, but you need to practice this also every single day in your real life when you're going through anything for that matter. When I walk on road also, I just close my eyes and I just feel I'm the only one walking. And trust me, it works. I know it might sound weird for people, but it actually works in my case. When I walk on road, I just close my eyes and I just tell, okay, I'm the only one who's walking on the road. There's no one else. And trust me, I gather that courage and confidence. People ask me, how do you gather courage? You don't get it in the shop, right? You don't get it in the mall. It's within you. You need to just bring that out. That's it.
Now, anytime there is a discussion, there is something that the state is talking about that directly affects your queer identity, I usually get comfortable because I know that's a sign that I'm going to lose some friends. Because a lot of them don't understand the concept. They don't understand how is this affecting you, right? So what I'm trying to ask you, Bala, is when you're faced with a difficult decision of whether to pick friendships or to pick your authentic self, your authentic emotions about a particular situation, how do you navigate that decision?
Yeah, so I think I just spoke about this in my first TED talk also, that I was disowned, by my, best friend, was friends with me for 10 years. When he got to know about my sexuality, he just said that my religion doesn't accept this. So it's better we should not be friends anymore. And yeah, that's all. And again, as I'm not trying to generalize this term friendship. I'm not trying to put my other friends down over here. There are many of my male straight friends who have accepted me for who I am, and I'm very, very thankful to them. But there are many, who have disowned me, who have blocked me from social media after they got to know about my identity. Especially recently when I came out as a trans, person. So that was very shocking for me, of course, very much. But I didn't feel bad, I just felt good that, for the fact that, they I had to filter these people, but now I got to know their real faces and they just backed out. So, and one thing I just told them that they don't deserve me, so now I don't feel bad if someone goes out of my life. I'm I usually I celebrate, that, I just got to know their real face and they are out of my life, and because I'm enough, as I said. One word, I am enough. I don't look for any sort of sympathy or empathy for that matter. I am enough in my own life. This is my life. I'm living my life to the fullest. I'm doing my bit. I'm contributing my bit for the community, to the people who need me. And that's all matters, Apoorva, at the end of the day. Nothing else matters. If someone wants to leave, they are more than happy to leave, get out of my life. And yeah, so so that's what I think. You need to first uh, more than your friend, first you need to see yourself, like, when someone leaves you for that matter, you need to just tell yourself, okay, they didn't deserve me. Some people feel bad, they start crying and all, but you just need to realize that they don't deserve you. They just left your life, that's it. You got to know their real face, you got to know their real personality, right? So it's all good. You need to rather celebrate instead of crying. Celebrate and tell them, like, just wish them the best. That's it. You don't even have to wish anything bad for them. Just wish them best of luck, and that's it. They are happy in their life, I'm happy with my life. So other things doesn't matter.
Right? You have been very vocal about how DEI efforts are required in marketing strategies. You participate in events that talk about and kind of promote inclusivity. Now, a lot of discourse exists on like socio-economic benefits kya hote hain for DEI, for queer inclusion. A lot of discourse exists. I want to ask you something very basic, which is like, do you think that marketing affects inclusion or exclusion of queer people? And if whatever your answer, how?
I think it's very, very important to first encourage gender neutral language in each and every sector. Wherever you are working or whichever people you're mingling with, it's very important to first kind of uh, understand the pronouns of people. Like, these are all very sensitive things, and many of the campaigns also you would have seen brands where they kind of say, oh, mard ho ke ladkiyon wali cream, मर्द होके लड़कियों वाली परफ्यूम. This is how they kind of portray, they kind of stereotype gender everywhere. That's where the homophobia rises. Media, I think the most of our information which we consume is from media, is from television, right? If they are, I'm not trying to generalize. There are many ads, beautiful ads, which has been done, on queer community, but there are many who, which is still like a giving a very sour, this thing for people. When they see that, I was like, okay, fine, this is not right. You know, uh, so it's very important to first be very sensitized these kind of information, which is very sensitive. The gender neutral language, washrooms, whether you have gender neutral washrooms within your organization or anywhere else for that matter. How are you addressing the person when you are asking a person about his or her own sexuality? Or you can just simply ask, hey, hi, XYZ, what would you like to be addressed as? That's all. And also, when you, like here I have mentioned Balaji, she, her, we can simply mention our pronouns, right? That also gives idea to the other person in front of you that, okay, this is what he or she or they is, and this is how we need to address them. Or a safer side, address them by their name. That's all. But we kind of we make mistakes in all these things. We kind of don't sense it, and these are very sensitive things which can offend people. So I think many of the marketing campaigns, I'm glad they are coming up with so many like I saw a condom ad having a queer couple. That was so good. I think last Pride month last year, that was so good. I was so happy to see that. So this is the change we need, right? But sadly there are some campaigns which are giving that kind of a sour this thing to people. Like I said, this deodorant brand which kind of killed the entire this thing. Like, in fragrance also they were trying to categorize, acha ye to ladko wala fragrance hai, ye ladkiyon wala fragrance hai. When you, well, okay, when you light agarbatti, okay, I want to give example of agarbatti, okay, since it's being religious, we don't find, I mean, koi bhi jala sakta hai, right? Ladke bhi jala sakte hain agarbatti, ladkiyan bhi jala sakti hain, right? I'm gonna give a very, it might be a very stupid example, but we don't categorize there, right? No, right? Agarbatti is an agarbatti, right? It can be anything. So ye hum Bhagwan ji ke liye jala rahe hain, right? Even Shiv ji, Ardhanareshwari, even in God, homosexuality exists, right? In our scriptures, homosexuality actually evolved in India. People don't even know that. Go to Khajuraho temple, go and see the scriptures out there, right? So, but people sadly, they have their own justifications, society. So, but in fragrance, when it comes to deodorant or cold cream or anything for that matter, why you have to kind of stereotype things? You're objectifying it, right? You are not giving the right information which people is supposed to receive. You're giving a wrong information, and that's how that gives birth to homophobia. So I think this is very, very important for the coming generation also to take care of this in their this thing, that they need to encourage gender neutral language in, within their atmosphere wherever they are. And that's what is gonna take them to a long way.
So describe your coming out journey in one word.
I, me, myself.
What is one queer stereotype that annoys you the most?
Gender stereotyping.
You have to. Yeah, you have to pick one between drag show and queer poetry slam.
Queer poetry slam.
Okay.
Yes.
One line guidance for queer inclusion to leadership folks.
Be the change to bring the change.
So I'm going to say a couple of words, and you tell me the first word that pops in your head after you hear this, right? Diversity and inclusion.
One word, rainbow, with lots and lots
Allyship.
of hands. Uh, Me hugging my straight friend and kind of he being my support system.
Transphobia.
Transphobia. It's blank, I would say. It's a black picture which comes into my mind. I would not imagine anything, the horrors of transphobia, but
India.
it's just India. I see a rainbow color being included in the map, India map. Uh, like a queer land or something like that, like filled with rainbow colors.
Okay. The last thing is queer stories.
Queer stories.
Hmm.
Lots and lots of rainbow books with lots and lots of coming out journeys.